So until that, can we have a small introduction with your total experience so that I understand that if I'm majority of freshers and how to actually take it? Guys, this will be an interactive session where you need to let me know the details or any queries that any questions. If I, it's an interactive way. It's not like where we connect and I just say blah blah blah. This is the demo. This is a cloud. This is AWS or Java, and close up for the day. Yep. So small introduction with the team. This is the day one. We still have people joining. That's Satya. I hope I'm audible. This is I'm not in mute.
Hi, Satya joined.
Yeah, hi Satya. Can I get a small introduction?
Hi, I'm Satya. I have some 6 years of experience as a PLSQL developer working in Capgemini, Hyderabad.
Okay. Praveen, Vishal, Chari.
Hello, sir. Good evening.
Yeah.
I'm Vishal Doge. I'm currently working as a Python developer.
Okay.
Hi sir, I am Narsimachari. So right now I have 7 years of experience. Right now I am working in Java Spring Boot.
Okay. Okay. So guys, what is your motivation to be as a cloud engineer and in the get hands-on with the AWS with this?
I think the associate level certification is there now. We can crack
Yeah.
that one.
Others?
Means
Actually, our platform is moving from PLSQL based to AWS. So I need some basic information about PWS. Means how as a database developer we can move it to AWS.
Okay. Any other motivation from other candidates?
So actually, my current company has upcoming 3 projects in AWS. So I will learn from AWS.
Okay. So Chari, what's your total experience?
7 years of experience. Actually, in my organization also the projects are moving to cloud. So that is the one reason. And
Okay. Praveen, yours?
Actually, my background is a civil engineering, sir. So I did continue my field, so I want to change to IT field. So that's why I choose it. AWS is the better one.
Okay. Okay, guys. So I see that majority of them are freshers and only maybe 20% are little bit expertise as a developer. So let's start with it. Now we'll be at the day one here. Let me change the drawing. Non-mode. Okay. Now you were in the demo, right? So, okay. In the demo, we have taken an example of how we start any project or how actually things work when we get in requirement. And when you get the requirement, what is the next stage? That's analysis. After the analysis, then you have the third stage, which I'm drawing as a box, is the development. And then the last stage is maybe after the development testing. And then the last stage would be deployment in a development server or deployment in a regression server, depending upon the testing phases. Now, let me know, guys, what are the front end technologies? Any idea that you have? You have a web application which is accessed by a client, by a simple client using his Chrome browser or Mozilla Firefox. He is accessing www.google.com or any DNS name, and you have the backend service for that. So two boxes, one is a front end service, front end, and then you have the backend for the same. Backend can be, and then you have the database. Sorry, I'm bad at diagrams, but you have the database which will contain all the tables, your username, password, and your all the other different technical things that it contains. Now, using the front end in the sense you have your home page, contact us page, gallery, and then you have the buttons, the drop downs. Using what technologies and what other technologies you can develop the front end or the back end and the database. Anybody? You can say about the front end using what technologies that you can develop the front end?
AngularJS, React.js.
Yep, you have the Angular as a framework. You have React. Okay, but the basic thing comes down
HTML,
is
JSP,
the
HTML.
CSS. HTML says where you have to keep those buttons a little bit side or up. How should be your pick inside in your web page. CSS will give the color to it. Angular and the other frameworks, that's a JavaScript. Other third part, I'll keep it as a JavaScript. Now, anybody who clicks the button as submit, it goes to the backend. And in the backend, what are the technologies that you can develop your business logic? Yep. Any idea? So in the backend, it's like it will be connecting to the database. If it is the first homepage like www.google.com, then you get the response. Here is the request. This is how a web application works. You first give the request, REQ. The request would be like www.google.com. So in the URL, when you hit, you get a response of HTML from the backend. And in any other third or fourth page where you are submitting your name, your address, other things, when you are hitting the submit button, also the request goes to the backend. Depending upon the backend, whichever technology it is developed, maybe Java, Python, .NET. Okay, you can use these languages here, and this, depending upon the request, it might give you some response, and if it is a submit, then it can connect to the database, and whatever the logic is written, it does that particular job. So this is like anybody who knows one framework, maybe Angular and Java and SQL and MySQL as a server here, and what if it is deployed on any cloud. If this is deployed on any cloud, currently we are getting trained in this workshop or the training for the Amazon Web Services, AWS, right? So anybody who knows HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and Angular with maybe Java and one technology at the database and one technology of the cloud, that person will be called as a full stack developer. Now tell me, what is a mean and MERN? Mean full stack developer and MERN full stack. Have you guys heard of these terminologies? No. Okay, I will in the day 3 or 4 I'll speak about who's the full stack developer, but today we have the first as day 1, which is cloud features we'll be speaking, but the very basic is how a website is actually functioning is you as a client who uses maybe any browser, that's Google Chrome, Mozilla Firefox, Internet Explorer, will hit the URL, and if this URL is actually good without any mistake, then it goes as a request. It will find out that okay, Chari from our participants Hello Chari, if you can hear me, let me
Yes,
know.
sir.
Yeah. So Chari using his Google browser, Google Chrome as a browser, google.com or maybe zoom.com if he's using web application to connect with this. So it will go to the server which is hosting this whole source code. Okay, which is hosting this whole source code of front end as well as a back end. And from the front end, whichever technology it is being developed, it goes to the backend service. If it is developed from Java, it connects as this is just a home page. This home page will go as a request. So this is the basic functionality how a web application works. Now in this web application also you have two more components. That is you have the sorry, you have two more components. It's a load balancer API. Then you have the backend, another backend which is let's say you have two backends. One is hosted in Mumbai, another is hosted in Singapore for the people of Singapore. Now some traffic current what is the meaning of active users? Anybody?
Who are currently using this application?
Yep. So whoever is currently using your web applications, or currently if you can see Google as a client, if you hit Google as a company states that Facebook states that 500 million people who are they are active users. That means every hour or minute, I think it's every hour, business claims that they are active users. So currently their web application will be functioning in with that peak hours. Even if you Google claims that their business have 1 billion active users. So if you have developed a web application and if many people are accessing it, you will have the traffic. So you will have a load balancer in the middle. Load balancer, or I'll tell you what's an API gateway or the load balancer. API, it hits the API gateway. This load balancer will see that okay, some 1 lakh users, if we have configured 1 lakh users, will first go to this. After 1 lakh, currently in a particular hour, if more than 1 lakh comes, it has to go to the server B. So it's just a configuration. So all these components are also as a service in your AWS. Let's explore these things. Okay, through this PPT, this is the first PPT which will be shared to you through repository. Day one will have the cloud features. Day two will have Git. Day three, the example hands-on. You will have the syllabus shared through the link. You might have it. This is the day one, and we'll be doing this particular PPT. Now, what are the cloud features? I'll just give you an example that whatever the services like API, load balancer, then you have the backend server with the database as a server. Database is also a server type, right? It's the same black box with that particular operating system and heavy hardware, heavy hard disk, and other backup like EBS, other volumes. Just like you have your laptop, in your laptop you have your personal PC kind of operating system, and you are having a hard disk of maybe 1 TB or 500 GB. So server is same like, but it is little bigger than your maybe a small box, bigger heavy box which you can or cannot lift. I'm not sure about the size because I have always used cloud since the last 2012. So you have the same box which will have the operating system in it. It will have the antivirus. It will have the application. You also have the database that is also a server. Now all these things you are just getting it on rent. That is cloud. You're not buying the server. You're not buying the operating system for the server. If cloud wasn't there, you would have to buy the particular server, ship it to your company. You make a server room. You'll hire a server engineer and then buy the operating system install it through a CD or any other drive. Then you will have the antivirus to make sure that you clear the headache of upgrading the operating system. All these things you're not worried. You're only buying that particular server here, the database as a server. You're pushing your code to that particular server and you're getting ready. You are build only until you're renting this server. You're provisioning. From now I won't be using the word renting. It is called as provisioning the server. So we will also have the hands-on for that one. So we'll first go through the basic features of a website, what it is. I have said you what is API is just a gateway. It checks that okay, particular client is coming. There are 500 million clients which are accessing your web application. So it goes to that particular microservice. But I'll explain you the basics of these things. So that is actually features. That means every server, any database as a server is given as a service, and you can provision them with the help of the console. You just log into console.aws.com, just like you use the application of Ola, you use the application of Zoom, you take on rent the car, and you give the parameters from this destination to other destination. After every ride is finished which you have taken, then your bill is generated. In the same way, the number of hours that you use the server for the database or the backend server, okay, then and then on top of that, different parameters, like if you use the operating system on the server as Linux, operating system as Windows, then depending upon those parameters, the bill will be generated. And then you have free tier. That means you buy provision a server and then use it. You used only $23 today. For first $800, you won't be billed. Okay, it's free of cost. We'll be doing that hands-on also. So now coming to the cloud features and why cloud. As I said, any reason other than what I have used, why do we use cloud? Any other reason other than provisioning and headache of the buying hardware, maintaining it, upgrading it? Any other reason why you're learning cloud? Of course, employability. You can become a cloud engineer and move to any MNC or any startup. You can work there, provision there, deploy their code and maintain their code, and you will be called as a server engineer or a cloud engineer. Any other reason you can motivation you can specify from this? You have 9 candidates.
कर दिया मेल आपको.
Yeah.
हाँ.
So I couldn't hear it. Yeah, guys, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Any other reason that you can specify? Guys, I said this is interactive. I am not the person who will be just speaking blah blah blah. You will be hearing. You might again disconnect with me, and then I won't be even knowing it. Disconnect in the sense you might be watching any other news at the side. That isn't happening. My classes, I'm totally interactive. I can even speak out the names even if it is in the recording. That's for sure.
Hello,
So
sir.
yeah.
So actually, means as a cloud has a unique features, like it's a rapidly development software development process. Actually.
Yeah, I'll tell you. In the demo, as I have taken one of the example that, okay. So you have the whole source code which is developed. Think that this is the whole 500 lines of source code, which is, I'll give you one, at the end of this session, before just 5 minutes, let me go through this query again. It's a little bigger query that you are asking. Is it as a development or as a combination
Yes.
called as a DevOps? So just before we are going to end, I'll clear this query because this is a little bigger and visually it is cleared in the demo. I hope you were in the demo, but still let me complete this and then complete your query and give you. It's a combination. As a developer, you can start as a DevOps. You can as a operations engineer in AWS. You can certify yourself and become a DevOps. I have given you the clear path in the demo. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So, any other queries, guys?
No, sir.
Nope. Okay. So you have two kinds of web application. There's a static web application and dynamic web application. What's the difference?
Web means you can use only on internet. Static means there are no use of the internet means there is what is the front end means.
Okay. So I disconnect my laptop from the internet, and can I access any static web application?
Yes, sir.
Are you sure?
Static web application disconnect. Yes, sir.
Okay. Any static web application, can you give me the name which I can access offline also?
Means you can code all your means you can use portfolios.
Okay. So let me take one example. This is a school which is okay, and this I can see this is a static web application. It doesn't have a login. It doesn't take my cookies, etc. Right? Now,
Yeah.
how can you? Why do we call it as a static web application? Is that you have only the information about the school. You have only the buttons where you can navigate. You have the gallery, contact, home, about us, academics, admissions, in a very simple way. But is there any way, if this website belongs to me, will I be able to know who are the clients who visited this website? Okay, static website doesn't track the users. It doesn't have a submit button, form button. Okay, so you have the front end, you have the back end, and you have the whole website which is on the server. Any client who is visiting it, you won't know how many clients have visited, how many from where they have visited, or it's just been deployed on a server and it's functioning. And what's a dynamic website? Now you can tell me.
Yeah, the page where you can interact.
Yeah, it interacts with the client. Client will have his username, password generated. If he has not generated, there will be a sign up page, sign in page. The username and the password will be stored in the database. It will be retrieved runtime, and it will give the page depending upon the client. Okay, client interaction. Just like if this is a dynamic web application, and if Praveen from our participants is actually logging in for the first time, he will be asked for a sign up page. During the sign up page, the database will have one of the table that will store the serial number, the username, the password. If there is any token based, it will create the token. If this whole web application is token based, so it will create a token just like session. Okay. Then this business logic layer, maybe in Java or .NET if it is developed. Okay, and front end if in it will be in HTML, CSS, maybe in Angular or framework, any other framework like React. Okay, now when Praveen, one of our participant, has joined, okay, which is a dynamic application, he will be asked for a first sign up page. During the sign up page, his username and password, just take it up as praveen@gmail.com. His password is simply, let's take an example, $123 at the rate of, this is the password. Now he will be redirected. First he will he will get a response. For the first response, first he will request if he is visiting like satyajwellers.com. Okay, satyajwellers.com is the website, and if it is dynamic, if it is he is visiting, he will be asked for the first sign up. So first time when he entered, he will, this web application will get to know the IP address and the browser version, Praveen's Google Chrome browser version, his laptop IP address, his cookies if it is there. So if the backend is in Java, it will first create the username and password and then return as the second page as sign in page. In the sign in page, you will have the username and password entered by the client. Praveen then enters the username and password. It's Praveen at the rate of, if he does any small mistake also, there will be a response stating that, okay, the username and password is wrong. Then again, some request, then response. In parallelly, you have one more participant attendee with us named as Saloni. So you have another client who is accessing first time. She will be again given the what response she will be given the first time. Yep, guys, any idea?
Sign up request. No, again.
Yeah, because Salon is signing it for first time. She doesn't have those cookies set, and she doesn't have the username and password. Depending upon the link she has clicked. If she has clicked the link for the sign in, then she have to enter the username and password. But she saw that there is no username, password, forgot. So this is a dynamic web application. This database will also have some cache, server will have some cache. It will store the cache in the browser of the client. So this is the actual difference between a static and a dynamic web application. Any other point that you guys think is a dynamic web application feature? I have given you only the basic. There are many actually. You have other things. So as an assignment, this is your day one, and my classes, as I said, the first feature is like it's interactive. I don't guys let you lose your let you distract from the class to any other way, any other topics. The second is your assignments. If you are connecting tomorrow, once you are connecting tomorrow, 10 minutes before, we will be discussing any assignments that you have done or not, any queries depending upon the assignments that you have done. Okay, so your assignment for today would be to understand what is called as OAuth 2.0. Okay, so note it down. Okay, so for you guys to become cloud engineer, it will I'll be training you for 30 to 45 hours, maybe Friday, Monday to Friday, or including weekends, excluding weekends, or only on this batch is for the weekdays, but some of the batches are for the weekends only. So they will be completing. Everyone will be completing in 30 to 45 hours with hands-on on AWS. But the assignments will help you how quickly you become expert in that. Okay, you'll be at a very best level, and to become an expert you should be completing these assignments. It's just very simple. You click what is OAuth 2.0, understand. You have a tons of videos on the YouTube, but once we connect tomorrow, and this particular topic will be again discussed. But still, once these classes are done, make sure you do the assignments. Fine, Satya, Praveen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's the difference between a static and dynamic web application. Now, let's take an example. Who wants to be a client? Let me know the name. We have Vishal, Aman, Atul, Chari, Praveen, Saloni, Satya. Who wants to be our customer or client? Just let me know your name. Any volunteers? Nope. Everybody wants to be just everybody wants to be a developer working in an IT. Nobody wants to have their own web application dynamic.
Yeah, we want.
Yeah, let me know your name then.
Yeah, Aman. This is Aman.
Sorry, your voice is very low.
This is Aman.
Aman. Yep. So let's take Aman. Aman is our client. I'm just taking examples. He have his jewelry stores in Hyderabad, Chennai, Pune, Delhi, Kolkata, all chain of stores for selling jewelries, gold, silver, and platinum. And we other six of them, Sai Teja, Vishal, Atul, me. Others are like we have a small startup. Okay, we have a small startup, maybe 3 BHK, and Aman has approached us stating that he wants it to migrate online. He wants his presence to be online. He doesn't. He has only physical stores. He wants an e-commerce website. But the first website, what we proposed him to show our capabilities is a static website with a simple 4 pages, that is home page. Okay, I just got a warning that I need to close other applications if there are any, if they are using any internet. Just hold on, guys. This is a recording session which will be shared with other students. So let me close the other applications. Done. Okay. So Aman is our client. We'll just take him as a non-technical person. He wants a web application. And we stated that to show our capabilities, let's first make a static web application within 15 days. So Sai, Teja, Vishal, Atul, all 7 of us are developers here. Okay. Now, the first phase, what will be the first phase in our company?
About the company information.
Yeah, to get the requirement from our client. Now the requirement, our architect, senior manager will interact with the client and they'll get all the details. They will explain all the details that it will be a web application, a static web application, which will be developed in next 15 days, which will have your home page, contact us page, 2 gallery pages, and to hire a professional photographer, get some galleries from, get some photos, professional photos from Pune, other location stores with some happy customer faces. And this, what will be the second require? We got the requirement. It's a static web application. We got all the gallery photos. Now, what will be the second stage of our code dev of our project after the requirement?
Design.
Design or analysis or design? I'll keep it.
Yeah.
Analysis or design. So
Yes.
any product that is being developed, if you're developing a small car, also if you're a mechanical engineer, if you're developing a small car which has 2 wheels and a frame, you will first have a blueprint, right? Blueprint, and our blueprint is a very simple one. We'll have the front end and we'll have the back end. Now during the analysis and the design phase also, we stated to our HR team, we send them a mail that okay, this is a static web application, we need 2 front end guys, 2 HTML, CSS and React, 2 backend, that is 2 Java developers, 2 testers and 2 okay, for now only these guys. We need 6 developers and we are 7 guys. So one of them will be senior architect or senior manager who will be interacting, getting the things. So we divided our responsibility in this way. Now, why do we have tools? Any idea? Yep. Why do we have 2 developers? It's a very simple. Just to make it more interactive, I'm having these very simple questions. Any idea? Anybody?
I mean, see, if single person will develop the application, no, he may not available for
Yeah.
everything
So
now.
as a thing is that anybody can go on leave, on a holiday or a sick leave. Others can start with the development because it's just for 15 days. So we hired 2 to 2. As said, this is very simple question. Just to make it more interactive, I'll be engaging you in this one. So we started our development. In the development phase, front end guys started the development, back end. Okay. So we started the front end, we started the back end and the database. For now, it's just a static, but we still have this front end and the back end. Okay. And we completed the deployment in 15 days. This is called as a waterfall model. Okay, waterfall model, because if you want to remember, it's just the water which is falling and it is taking nearly 3 days for the requirement, 15 days for hiring, development, another let's take it just 15 days because this is a small project, and then you have the deployment. Okay, now during the deployment phase, as I said, we are just a small company, we 7 of them, and Aman Sharma is our client, and we are waiting for other clients also in this way, but we have our deployment to be done in a server. Do we have a server in our company? We need to bring it, right? Currently think that we do not have cloud in, we are in a pre-cloud era. Just take an example. If you are moving from one place to another and there were no Zoom, Ola, Uber, how would you do it? Yep, guys, any idea? You're moving from one place to another, and you do not have. You're in 2003 or 4 where you do not have Uber, Ola, Zoom, any applications. What you will do? You need to move to your village, which is 100 kilometers away, or maybe just 40 kilometers away.
I think government services we have to government bus.
Yeah, so what I heard with your low voice, sorry, but you will hire a vehicle and he will be charging you upon the distance. But if you have Ola, Uber, other things, you will use your application and then do it. Now we are inside a company of 7 developers, and our first client Aman, we have his web application called amanjewellers.com, which is just a small static web application to show our capability. To test our capability, he has given a small web application to be developed. He is a non-technical person, but he has given us the project of a static, and then we have to deploy it. But do we have a server? We need to buy a server, right? So we again had maybe 1 or 2 server engineers, server backend engineers, because we do not have any cloud and other things. So we purchased this hardware. It took 1.5 months to reach our office, maybe in High Tech City, Gachibowli if you are in Hyderabad, and if you are in Chennai, then Trinity and other says it reached hardware. You converted from 3 BHK to 2 BHK, 1 BHK as server maintenance room, and server engineers started working on it. Then you again spent the first 8 lakhs in getting the 5 lakhs in getting the server from maybe Apache or IBM, whichever company you have, which the server engineers have given you their opinion. You bought the server, the hardware. Then you have to also buy the operating system, the antivirus, the application. If it is in Java, you need to buy the application, servlet JSP kind of that one. Then you have any other extra stuff that you need for this server to be online, networking, routers. All this costed you another 2 lakhs. Now this server you can host up till 4 web applications, just like you are hosting for amanjewellers.com. You can host it for 3 other total 4 web applications, maybe static or dynamic. Okay, so your configuration of minimum is 5 lakhs, and you can host up to 4 applications. Everybody is happy. Development team has done their work. Deployment, you deployed it, and then you called Aman, and you said that your web application is ready. Use your browser. Aman used his Google Chrome browser, hit amanjewellers.com, and he was able to see the whole web applications and every customer. So in the next 45 days, we again started the project for his e-commerce web application, which is a dynamic. Again, we started the requirement analysis, development. We recruited more engineers because it has to be done on next 6 months, and then the deployment. Then you are now, guys, think actual deployment development is done. Then once everything is deployed on the server, okay, you have to even maintain it, right? If something goes wrong, or maybe you have clients today who are active users, only 50,000 are active users. They are buying jewelry, gold, silver, platinum. But there is one day, maybe I'll just take an example of India, where most of the Indians buy gold mandatory on that particular day. Any idea? Yeah, guys. One particular day in India where most of them buy gold jewelry. Yeah. We'll call it Dhanteras, okay? In simple, Dhanteras, Akshaya Tritiya. On that particular day, you have 5 lakhs active users from morning golden time, that is 8:30 a.m. to 1 or 2 p.m. Between this only you can buy the gold. Is in the astrology. So you have active users nearly 5 lakhs in this particular time. and our client Aman just called you at 9 p.m. and stated that the whole application is down. Now we were 7 developers, okay, and everybody is equal in this startup. So we got a client call stating that every 1 hour if it is down, he loses 3 crores of business. And since 8:30, the application is down. What will be your steps to actually rectify this, to bring the application up? This application was developed 6 months ago, but suddenly on a Dhanteras day, you received a 9 a.m. call. You didn't even go to the office, but everybody from the client, because he's paying you, he called up and said that the web application is down and do something. It's been an hour. Every hour, 3 crores of businesses is losing. It's an important day. What will be your actions? How will you rectify this? How will you bring back this web application?
Like we have to add more memory, more hardware to the server. So,
You added something, but the website is down. You hit the Google Chrome browser as URL amanjewellers.com, but it's not working. You started adding the memory. Okay, you increase the hard disk or maybe ABS volume from 5 TB to 50 TB. So you have a team, right? Maybe you have a team which is called as a production support. Okay, or maybe as a startup we are only the guys, so even we are doing the production support, we are maintaining this because we developed it, right? But we didn't anticipate that particular day 5 lakhs will be and it will be down. Now there is a requirement that you should have one more server, and this particular traffic will be for the first 2.5 lakhs customers. It will be redirected to A, and then others more than that which will be redirected to server B. Then you need to buy one more server. Another 8 to 11 lakhs you need to shell out. Or in the next 6 months, you got you have hosted four clients. The fifth client also came with a static web application, but there is no space here. This configuration only holds for 4 applications. This also is the backup for 4. In case anybody wants as a backup, the client, the customers will be redirected, the traffic will be redirected. But there is a fifth. What do you do? You do not currently. This is just a secondary server which is not active. You have the fifth customer. What you will do to? Will you not take his requirement stating that we do not have any server? Yeah, guys. I hope my examples are clear. Let me know. Examples are clear. Can you confirm that?
yes, sir. Yeah, it is clear.
Yeah. So you have the fifth customer and you have only one server. Other server you just kept in the spare. You can't use it. It's a strict. You need to buy one more server, right? You need to shell out one more 11 lakhs. But being a small company, can you get nearly 33? You just got it here 33 lakhs in the starting. It's just a tech IT company with MVP as a product, and you have only 5 to 10 lakhs. So this is the problem where you have on-prem servers. If you need to buy now, you have the traffic issue. If it is down, you need to get one more. That's the reason cloud came into picture. Okay, cloud, that means Amazon, Google, Microsoft started renting out server. A server is present in their data center. Data center is just, if I take a general example, it is a nearly half or 1 kilometer of big factory containing thousands of servers, which you can rent. They won't send the server to your home or office, but you can access their website and You can deploy the code, upload the code in their server. The particular server will be assigned to your name. They will generate the bill. Can deploy your code on that particular server. That you can taking it on rent is called as a provisioning. Okay, and that particular for the AWS, one of the nearest data center is in Mumbai. Okay, so here also this web application, when you're developing, you have to take care that all the security features of the web application is corrected. What are the security things you need to consider is you have an association, web, an organization which tells that if you are developing any web application, you need to take care of these 10 points. You know, how many web applications are there in this whole world? Any idea? Yeah, Aman.
No.
I think millions of applications we have. I think more than.
It's just reached in 2015. It reached billions. Now, and there are many websites which hackers have targeted. Okay, so these hackers are targeting the front end. They are targeting the back end, and many network calls. It's an open internet, right? You call the web application that www.amanjewellers.com, google.com. So these calls, these packets are being exchanged between the client and the server. These are being taken in the middle. These are called man in the middle attack. They attack the front end, they attack the back end, they attack the database which is hosted in the data centers. So most of the web applications have been hacked, and there's a strict rule that if the company's things are being hacked, they need to report it to a particular organization. Why? Any reason? As a company, if something of your website or your mobile application is hacked, you need to rectify it, update it to your clients, and update it to a particular organization. I won't ask you what's the organization name, but why do you have to report to them? Even fixing it, you need to fix it, right? For the clients and others. Why do you have to report it?
So there could be a chance of money loss, data loss. So that's why.
Yeah. So what happens is there were many reports receiving to this particular web, this organization, and they got to know that if any technology, I won't name the technology Java because Java is most secured, but still in 2017 the framework of Java called as the struts of version 3.7 had a backdoor. Any hacker can actually enter into, if they are using struts 3.7, they can enter, they can change the whole source code. Maybe if there is a money transfer, they can add their own account, they can actually enter into the database. So all the other sorts of things are being having a backdoor in the struts 3.7. So this was being reported. These guys will report it to others. They will have their own web application. They will state that if you're using struts, any other guys who are using, they will be notified, and the whole world will come to know. They will remove this dependency. They will become secure. So they have stated that there are many. They have seen the pattern of all the hackings and other. They have stated this 10 list. Okay, 10 things to be taken care while you are developing this web application. Just like if anybody is developing a car design, they need to take care that if an accident happens from the rear, from the side, what are the things need to be made sure that this particular car which is coming into market, okay, has to be more secure than the existing designs. So that particular data, all the data of all the accidents and what is happening with the existing cars, what happened in 1990s, if they are not having airbags, all this data, somehow or other organization will have it, and they will say that, okay, if you're designing a new car, you need to take care about these things from the rear, these things from the side. You should have an airbag. Your engine, maybe battery should not be exposing to the front, so that if some accident happens from the front, your battery doesn't blast. That's the reason you have. So these are the other things that you learn by by most of the data that is accident data or hacked data in the technical terms. So they have stated this 10, and we are going to cover this 10. That is first, top 10 web application security risk. So these vulnerabilities risks we are taking, that's first is the SQL injection. Now there are some web applications, some web applications which will have username and password, right? Every web application has that one, every dynamic web application. So in the backend, what if your username and password, okay, you have your username password, that is Praveen at the rate of gmail.com. Password very simple, 1234 at the rate of dollar is little complex. Now username, because you have provided in somewhere in your shopping market, any by some or the other way, hacker has got your username, and he tried first as 1234, then he tried with another password 1234, again 1234, because this is only 5, right? That's the reason you are always asked for 8 and using capital and others. Now the username and password, this SQL injection is called if you keep 1 is equals to 1, which is true. Okay, what happens when you give the correct username and password? It goes to the backend, it goes to the business logic layer, it connects to the database, it checks Praveen at the rate of gmail.com is the correct spelling for the username. Then he has the correct password, nothing is jumbled, correct password. Then he gets the word as true or maybe 200 okay. That is the status code coming saying this 200 okay. Yes, you're logged in, and the response would be your first home page because you logged in, or maybe the index page we call it. Now what happened in the starting only, if you, this is called as 1 is equals to 1, that is true. It went, it sent 200 okay true. This is called as a SQL injection. Okay. Or maybe you have a search button in the page 3. This search button, if you keep star and it gives in the page 3, if you're searching for something, you logged in as Praveen. I went to Praveen's Facebook, and by default I have something as a search button. I entered star here. I am getting all the details from the database without any filtration. That is also not good design. You need to take care that. That is called as a SQL injection. They are writing some queries and getting the access directly to the database without authentication. This is called as a authentication. You have an assignment. Next assignment name question is, what is the difference between authentication and authorization? Okay, so you have 2 assignments, and I have noted it down, and we'll continue tomorrow. If you have any queries, let me know. You have more 5 minutes, else we can disconnect. Guys, any queries?
Sir, do we need DevOps knowledge for this session actually?
Chari, you attended any demo?
No.
Okay, so we'll take one demo. Okay, I think you didn't attend the demo, that's the reason you're asking, but okay, I'll clear your doubt now itself. Is there any other query?
No. Bro, this is the first day of the session, no?
Right. I'll clear your query. Is there any other query smaller than this one?
So
No?
basically, in this course, are you going to complete both development and admin part, or only development?
You have the DevOps part of it. You'll be getting the syllabus,
Okay.
and the link for this. This will be the syllabus. Okay. Hold on, guys. I'm getting it. Okay, so introduction. So what is a AWS, DevOps, and types of cloud? In this differences, you get DevOps introduction. You will have hands-on with the Unix, Linux commands. What is the operating system there? AWS resources, IAM, S3, EC2. These are the resources that will be covered. Okay. In monitoring and logging session, will be covered with the CloudWatch, networking fundamentals. What is the switch, router, sockets, and learning what's the meaning of a mean one. I see some chat application. Yeah, so I'm just scrolling it down, and I have one more query. I'm working as a technical analyst on do AWS cloud monitoring. Is it good for me to continue with this? Yes, you in your as a technical analyst is if you want to become a cloud engineer, you become cloud DevOps. Okay, let me share. Okay, sorry, I went little faster. Yeah, Atul, I'm coming to your query. You'll be doing the Unix and Linux on the day 3, and these are the AWS resources that you'll be doing. AIAM, S3, EC2, monitoring and logging for the guys who are on as a technical analysis, networking fundamentals, and what's a mean mon, Java language fundamentals, basic concepts of it, what's an application server, difference deployment, SDLC, we have done waterfall model, what is DevOps, and these are the things. What's Maven, Jenkins, virtualization, Docker, Ansible, JFrog, Chef. Okay. Now let me share one more content here. Where did it go? Yeah. So why we are starting with Amazon as a cloud? You have other cloud services also. What's a part of the project? What's a front end, back end, repository deployment? Okay. Now, why AWS? Why you guys have asked this motivation in the starting itself? Okay. Understanding the course content. I have shown you the course content, what we'll be completing, and then introduction. What is an Amazon as a company? You know, it e-commerce part of it was developed. Started by Jeff Bezos, who is the CEO in 1995. And the main part coming to here is these are the list of services which will be covered: EC2, S3, IAM. Now, very important part, that is your career. Now, coming to the career section, here you will be first completing the certification of the cloud practitioner. Here we'll be doing all the hands-on with the list of services provided as a syllabus. Okay, as a cloud practitioner. After that, you if you want to enter as an operations in the operations or as a developer, after this certification you'll be doing the DevOps as a certification. You can become a DevOps or you can become an architect after completing the certificate of the associate level of the architect as a professional level. Then after completing this particular associate level and the professional level, you can do the next is the specialty which I'm doing as a machine learning. You can also go for other options. It's a big data, security, Alexa, and advanced networking. Okay.
Yeah, so okay, here question. So in this session, what we are covering here? So is it AWS DevOps?
We'll be covering at the DevOps level.
Okay, so about cloud practitioner, is it covered here, or is it part of this one, or
Cloud practitioner is like all the services will be given hands-on, okay, and in that particularly Jenkins and other things which are at the DevOps level will be covered. So you have the syllabus in your hand, it will be shared, and you can
Okay.
actually see the syllabus of if you are going for the certification of the DevOps, what are the services that are important? Those are covered in this workshop or the training along with the cloud practitioner.
Okay, okay. Yeah, thank you.
The only difference will be the developer who will Java code or Python code using the SDKs. Anybody on mute? So what I was saying that you'll be given hands-on for this one, and the syllabus for the certification of the DevOps engineer. You can tally them, and so who's a developer who will be using a Java code or a Python code or a .NET SDK who will connect with the same resources in a code way. That's a developer. We will be doing at the DevOps level and the cloud practitioner level.
Hello, sir.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Hello.
yeah, can hear you. Please
It's
tell me.
AWS Solution Architect. It's AWS Solution Architect course or AWS DevOps.
This is for the DevOps.
Okay. Thanks, sir. I want to AWS Solution Architect course, sir. This part is all this part is covered in this course.
For the solution, we are doing with the DevOps. This is the professional level. Okay. You will be given hands-on with the cloud practitioner, all the things, and with the DevOps. For this one, you need to switch for the newer courses. Okay. This is the starting point. Okay. Guys, please,
Okay.
currently this is 9-4. I have one more batch to be started. I hope the students don't leave theirs thinking that it's Monday or Holy. Okay. And this is a recording session. Any doubts, please connect with me on call through the backend team or Nazir sir. Okay. Sure. Any more doubts, guys? Please connect with me through the backend team. Thanks. There is other team who is waiting. They might leave thinking that it's a holiday today.